Hello there, and welcome to TerraTech Worlds for version 0.6. The game has had a major overhaul, so all the older videos will no longer apply. So we have a new tips and guide video for you for this version 0.6 version, where we have boats and airplanes, and the forest biome and the other swamp biome have been reworked, and the continents have been moved far apart, and all that other stuff that's been added to this game is still not complete though. But let's get started on some of the first tips on here, and that's going to be when you're going in there, make sure you go to your planet settings first and adjust the day length. That's highly recommended because the 20 minutes just seems a little bit way too short for me, and 1 hour seems a little bit more realistic. You might enjoy the game better that way, but some of the other settings are old and no longer apply, like player text storage. We no longer need to worry about doubling that up there. You just get as much as you want, and then just get access to it by placing the new module system that they have, so that thing can just go away. We don't need that. Some of the other settings, just ignore the rest of the things I have on here. I'm just doing this one as a test run for some of the other things, but leave maybe want to change the respawn right down to slow. This game is all about killing a lot of techs, and you need a whole bunch of them for the quest and stuff like that, but that slow spawn rate is still pretty fast, and you will end up going to one location nearby, farming for a little bit, and then coming back, and those same techs you just killed 5 minutes ago are back again, even on the slow setting. So that might go from a 5-minute respawn to like a 10-minute respawn type of thing. It's still way too fast when you want it to be like a 30-minute respawn is what I'm looking at. All the other settings leave as default, except for maybe the power generation. It is still utterly crap in this game. It's no fun building a power system to generate power that takes up 220 power to produce 320, which means you only gain 100 power for all that work you just did, and everything needs like 300 power for some of the things right now, so it is ridiculous. So you might want to have that up to 100%. That's up to you. Everything else just leave as it is, a standard, to enjoy the gameplay as it should be, and you can adjust things as you want, of course, if that's what you feel like, but I'm just testing out some of the other settings on here that I might want to adjust. But let's get started and load up this game here and show you what you're looking at when you first start this game. You're going to be starting off in the forest biome. There is basically, I only think there's 4 biomes. I don't count water as a biome or the lightning forest as a biome. The whole thing is the woodlands biome that you start in. But yeah, let's go a little bit closer to where you start, off the top of this hill right here, so you can recognize a little bit more where you start. You start in this little alcove area right here. You got some water in this part, and lots of iron ore all over the place when you're doing the quest. And this is the little tech that you get. So if you hit tab in the space bar, you can go up. And some of the other keys that they don't tell you about is like, hit the Z key and you can go up, and the other key to go down, X, Z and X to go up and down. But the most important key when you're looking at your tech and adjusting is going to be the K button. That they still don't have that on display after all this time. They still don't have that on the keys, or the reassigning the keys. Just hit the K button and you can see the weapon arcs that you have for your weapons and their firing radius, where they can shoot, so if things are being blocked off. Center of mass is going to be very important later on in this game when you're building your techs, especially you don't want to flop over and things like that, or roll over and things like and stuff like that too. So if your center of mass is way up high, you'll roll over. Off to the side, you'll flip over, that type of thing. And then once you get propellers, so that's what you have in this game, you'll have a little blue dot going off in one of the directions that you're going to be going in there. So you want that centered also, and hopefully going up in the opposite direction, little blue dots going up there. We'll see that again later on. But as you can see, the cab that you have in here is pretty small for inventory. You're not going to find small storages right now. They really need to add those back in there so you actually have some storage capacity on your tech at the start of the game. It is really a game inhibitor, basically. It's a lot more of a pain in the ass to make your techs at the start of the game than it was before. And then you have your capacity at 200. So you're going to want to adjust your things in there, and it's all about adding modifiers to things like your wheels and your guns, and that's the only thing you can really modify for parts, and that's why you want frames that you're going to find, like a small frame, and that will have a 50% discount for your wheels, and then the weapon mounts will give you a 50% discount on their the capacity for them. They'll help, and then they'll have their buffs too. But that's just for basically traveling around. Is relatively simple. This is the starter stuff they tell you to build. They give you the tech yard they give you, and then you build your repair thing. You got to go in there and get your repair charges type of thing off there. But when you're traveling around there, as soon as you get copper and you can actually build your own tech yard, definitely build a second one and keep that in your inventory. Of course, it's going to take up 4 slots, and your space is at a premium. But that that is worthwhile carrying around with you because it's a free repair. And then you don't have to worry about going back to your tech yard. And then later on, once you have more room, just bring everything. Bring a whole base with you. It doesn't take that much room comparatively. You know, there's a couple more big blocks. Lots of the other blocks are just one storage space, so you don't have to worry about that too much. The next thing that we're going to have to do is nothing in here. Okay, good. That you're going to be aware of is lots of these older blocks. This is mostly for people that are coming back into the game and that don't realize that some of these changes that they made. The small silo, for example, it has all these little white dots you can see on there for when you're adjusting them. You can't connect these to any of the pipes in this game now. So just make sure you're doing the Alt D for the alternate version, and they have those on there. So you can see those little black and red X's on there. Those things will connect to the tube, so you can have some automatic storage going on there. And that's for your once you get to your organics turbine and you have that running, you can add organics to it and have a little tube on there that you can make. They're easy to make, right? Iron and organics and copper. Carbon is now organics, and you can't actually burn the carbon blocks that you can refine in there and burn them for the power. And there's no purified carbon. There's a version that looks like purified carbon and it uses organics to make, but do not burn that stuff. It's just not worthwhile for power. You're losing power if you're doing that. So yeah, just don't do that. Stick with organics. But as for power, always try and keep this bootstrap power generator with you too. Once you're moving your base around, basically, because this is the only one in the game. It provides 30 power and 100% at 60 power. But yeah, 30 free power for nothing, and it's pretty small too. It's just a small little thing right there. That is something you're going to want to bring to your bases all the time, and then just shut off the power for your base by going over here and clicking the off button, and then have a generator up and ready to go to keep all the other things powered up there, like your repair module and stuff like that. You can even separate it from your the rest of the base if you want to be make it simple and save power, because power is a big issue later on in this game. And if you have it separated so they're not connected by floors, and then you have it connected to an organic turbine, you can just turn it back on when you need your repair charges and you need to access your storage. And then once you're done, to save ingredients and time farming, and turn it back off if you want to spend your time doing that. But now let's get started on the basic farming tips in this game. When you want to try and get some organics, just run over top of these little plants. These ones look like you can't run them over, but you can. They don't take very much, and you can just run them over, plow them down there. And lots of the plants in this game will start being hostile and firing at you. You'll recognize what they are, and there's lightning plants too, and then you can just run those guys over. Just so when you see something firing at you, you can try and dodge a little bit. They're very slow if you want to laser them too. Like, you can pretend that's one of those hostile plants. It sees you, it fires, you move like this, it will miss you like by a mile. And you can slowly go around there as you laser it if you want to, or you just run it over if your tech is a little bit bigger than this. But this one is big enough to run over the lightning ones. The other ones that explode, you can't really run them over yet, but as soon as your tech is like about twice the size as this one here, which isn't very hard to do, you'll be able to run stuff over. And this is the starter stuff, because you have this little bumper right here, and the first wheels that they tell you to license at that tutorial, that's the end there. And now we're farming for the resources. The next part is going to be iron. Now, in this resource, these big whole things, you want to farm them all. The way this works is you see that 100% health, and you see that yield 100%. If you take this whole thing, you will get 900 iron out of it, and that's for like the later endgame stuff where you want to dig it out there with a terrain tool that you're going to get, and to get stuff like that, that's how you have to do the kill quest in this game. They have 3 different kinds of quests, I would call them, and that's well, that would be 4 different kinds of quests, because you have that basic starter quest too that you're doing at the start of the game. Those things run out real fast, but you have the other quests which are not popped up yet at the start of the game. Those are the kill quests, and that's killing other techs. And then there's one for killing faction techs that will pop up after you kill so many techs. It's a bad system right now, and hopefully they rework it. And then there's the launch pad ones right there. Terraform this, and you can dig down, and then you have a fragmenter, and the fragmenter will pick it up and put it down there. And that's stuff that you carry on there once you get a large inventory, right? You can carry the fragmenter and a way to power it up there and some foundations, and just put it down there, dig it out there, and then you get the full yield. But now you can, for now, you want the best yield, you want to cut this stuff up there. So when you use your laser, you see the little the little orange red line right there. You want to cut across that. So you want to make sure you cut across that line exactly. Pieces will fall off, and then those pieces will have, will get a higher amount of the yield on them versus destroying the whole block. For an example, right? You come across one of those small iron blocks, you want to destroy it all instead of actually cutting it up there. Your yield will be a lot less. You'll basically, if you can chop it into two, do so, because you'll get like 50% more than you would by not doing it. That type of thing. I don't think I can chop this one up any more than it can be. I'll check it for little lines. You will get a scanner later on that you can see it there, but the yield on this thing is now is pretty low. It needs to be cut up a little more. Just 20% yield off of that, and that's cutting it up, right? So you only got like a 20% yield off of that piece, and this can be cut up a little bit more, I think, on these pieces right there. But yeah, you definitely want to save, do that for later on. But once you get a scrapper, iron will not be a problem for you, and there's no scrapper in this game to actually craft yet. You have to find one in the desert as you're bouncing stuff around. But that is a tips on farming. Trees will have that too, if you want to cut down the trees and get some more organics versus just running plants over, and you actually want to cut them down. Just find the line by going up and down like this, and you'll see that little line right there. Then we can cut across it, and there you go. And then we got the trunk, and then you can chop the chunk up too, and then I'll give you more resources out of it versus just cutting the tree down itself. I'll try and get that properly. There we go. Cut a little piece off there, and this one can be cut again. You just know this. You'll memorize this stuff later on because you have to do a lot of farming. But I have the yield up 100%, so I don't have to farm as much on this test game that I've been running. Just bounce around space to get there. But yeah, you got the yield and yield percent on the health. So since the item shares a health pool and you cut it up there, you get more yield. Basically, you cut up into 3 parts. This has 1/3 the health. That means the yield percent will go down a lot slower on the stuff. Plants don't really have that as much as the the iron stuff does. But yeah, you'll see little bases like that up there. There's a little red fist. You got to destroy that. It explodes, so be far away when you're doing that, but it's free base parts. And as for collecting other parts, like medium wheels would be like the thing that you want to go for. Medium off-road wheels is one of the first best wheels that you're going to have for the start. And then you'll find them in chests on the outside. Like if you go on the outside of this waterway over here and over to this direction, I think there's a chest over on a little island just over there for a couple wheels. I think so. But yeah, not sure. And just on the other side of this little hill right here, there's another chest over there. You'll see them. They're little yellow chests on the ground that will they'll be glowing when you're driving by when you get close enough. Loot those things. Like search around the outside of the map and find them all and get the loot off of them. And it's especially important on the ice zone on the outside if you have a way to actually heat yourself up there. But you'll have a boat and you might be able to destroy a couple of the ice techs and then survive the cold for a little bit to be able to do that and try and fast track your way. But anyways, we are going to get into the map, which really sucks. We'll zoom in there as fast as low as we can and see what we have for the map. So this is the starting area right here, and this little reverse paw print type of thing. Looks like a paw print to me, right? But over to the east, you see that little arrow on the screen. Those arrows go to tech, the new licensing places, the new traders. And that over to the east there is going to be where the desert one is. And that's what your goal is. You want to get over to that one there as fast as possible so you can buy the best cabs. So that's where the cabs are in this game to buy them, and you're looking at like 35k or so to buy the best cab in this game. And there's like 3 versions of cabs, of basic cabs. We'll show you what they are later on when we go to my real saved game. But this other arrow here to the north is basically that's where the ice biome is going to be, way far away. But for this first forest biome, that would be the direction you go in there to find the trader in this zone. That was going to sell you like the battery and the lightning rod, because this area has those lightning trees, and that's where you farm copper now, is by doing that. And the quest will direct you towards that. You don't need help with that. You can just follow what they say on the screen for that. And then over here is going to direct you to where the boat is. At the end of this little island here that we can't see because the map sucks, you'll have to watch my video that I'm going to do later on of running around the map, just flying around there so you can see a top-down view of where everything is. Visually, that should help you out. It would help me out immensely. And I can't find anything right now myself on the map because it's been changed, but I can't even find the old stuff for this game. It's all about the original TerraTech, not TerraTech Worlds. But that is where the boat place is, the little island where you go on there and buy some more boat parts and stuff. And then over there is going to be the swamp biome, and that's going to be the best place to start making your first base. There is oil nodes over there. We'll be over there in a second once we do that, but I just want to show you how to navigate this map and what these little arrows mean on there. And that's where the directions you got to go is find those arrows where you'll find those traders. And as you can see, there's 5 of them, but I don't count the water as a biome itself. There's no water boss, no quest to kill water guys or anything like that yet. Everything is up to change. This is the new version of the game and so on. But I think this covers the starting stuff that you get for your basic tech. And of course, you're going to want to go there and start using the modifiers that you're going to find, like the small axle, for example. You'll get lots of those. What it doesn't, it says it has a discount for wheels at least in that part of the description, but it's all the axles and all the frames will give you a 50% discount while you're building your tech. So you're going to want to go there and replace your axles, which and on this thing for that. But the connections on this one, they're pretty bad. We got some on there, so yeah, this only worked for 2 wheels on that side, and it won't work on this side. So you need 2 axles to make it balanced out there for it to be viable at the moment. We'll go there and show you what I mean in a second. This won't take too long. Yes, we'll just go there and exit and unload up my main game and show you the tech and show you the main base location for that. So we'll just load that up, click over here and launch, and it's been loaded already, so it shouldn't take too long on that. But that's what your goal is. Once you get a boat going, and I'll show you the first version of a boat that's actually probably functional and will work to kill other boats, so you don't tip over and die, and you have some turning capability and combat ability when you're starting. But the next tech that you're probably going to build will be something like this, nice and small and compact. And then you'll have your second little thing that you have. It's only 240 capacity on this little cab right here. And that gives +2 turbo to your wheels. That's the bonuses that it has on there. But yeah, this thing is just a couple of these small axles, and then with those wheels I told you to find right there, you can just find those things and get those nice off-road wheels. And they're really handy for everything for traveling. And I added some little bit extra boosters on there, some just for fun, just to waste some space. But yeah, the batteries in this game, you should note they do have a buff on them for superconductor, but you can only buy one. You just trade for one at the trader, and nobody drops it. Nobody drops small storages. Medium storages are even hard to come by and at the starting zone too. So once you get the medium ones, they only cover 2 rows. It's just not enough, especially for the cost for them. They are not. They are not very viable. There's no small storages. And where is the mediums? Oh yeah, that's right. I took the medium storages out and I put them in a thing over here for some dumb reason. Where are they? Where are my medium storages? There they are, right there. Medium storages. Go back into where you're supposed to be in the tech yard. Yeah, the tech yard is global now. You just have to have the tech storage thing in there everywhere, so that's nice and handy for there. But there is the medium storage ones right there. They take 14 load. They give recycle, which is good for your weapons, right? Because they uses less ammo for your buffs. But having them on there is just, it's an 8x2. You can see that in the bottom, 8x2. It's not great. You're looking for the real storage, the real large cargo storage, the 8x8 ones. And they are you'll get those in the swamp biome. I think you can buy one off the trader, and then eventually you might get guys that will drop it. We'll drop some more. The first one you get is this Bastion cargo for the quest line. It is bigger. It's not real cargo space. It's just for carrying the big quest items that you gotta do. And you gotta build your own tech for that can carry that big beast of a thing. It's bigger than this one right here. This one just as a 2x2 front, and this one here is like a 3x3 front, maybe. I think it looks like 3x3 versus a 2x2. Yeah, so it's a lot bigger for that type of thing. But anyways, a tech like this where you have the axles that take the discount and effect for the reels, the lightning rod for your farming, a couple lasers, and then the buffs for your weapons. And the buffs don't work for lasers in this game. I should move my battery around and stick a laser on there because it superconductor and all that, and maybe rearrange it that way and have a little bit more less power being used. But that's nitpicking. I'm not really too worried about that at the moment. But recycle and superconductor to help my guns out there. Just to recycle at least. The superconductor doesn't do anything except for on these blocks. But these modifiers don't affect the modifier discount does not affect lasers, unfortunately. They really need to change that to make it more well. But yeah, just a small little tech like this is what you're looking at for your next step for your thing. And then after that will be boats. It works a lot better off-road than it does right now. Here, it's just small and simple. You can't build anything fun anymore. It's just small and simple stuff. But oops, I went to the boatyard. Let's go back and go to the snapshots and check out a basic boat build so you know what you're doing in this game. Where is my boat? I guess my snapshots moved around. That's weird. Maybe I hit a button over here for the sorting, but I'll go over here and check it out there and then go on the water so you can see what I mean for boats. Sorry, I click too fast. But anyways, for boats, you want a wide frame on there. The wider, the better. It's going to be more stable in the water. The water is very bad for flipping over and all that kind of stuff. So just when you're doing the boats, just so you know, just the wider, the better. That's what you got to remember the most. And as for the propellers and stuff like that, you want them on the outside edges, as far as possible to the outside edges on all four corners, because you stick them in the middle, they don't work very well for the turning. At least I found this setup to be the best. Having them even closer to the back and to the front with maybe with a different one would even be better even. But the turning is still pretty bad. You know, want to get some cargo space, obviously, for traveling back and forth at the start, and then armor up the front. And the one thing you might want to note is that these boat things have like twice as much hit points as your other parts would have at the start of the game there. So your small frame, for example, this would have more hit points. And that's one of the things you're going to run into as a wall when you're traveling in the water biome, or I just called it a water biome. And when you're traveling around on the water, these other boats that you run into, they have automatic turrets basically for most of them, and they have multiple guns on there. So they fire a lot from maximum range because they're aimbots, obviously, and they will rip you apart. And before you can actually get a shot off them, it's hard to see them in the water because of the waves and stuff like that. They're small waves. They're not really realistic to the size of your tech and all that kind of stuff. But so water combat can be a pain when they blow you up from very far away. And that's why you have to make sure you have these guys on the outside taking the brunt of the damage. If you just use regular blocks, you'll get toasted, and some armor blocks to help you out. But buffing up your weapons is what it's all about, and you get the lightning gun off of the boss, and that's really nice because you have 4 connectors on there. There we go. We got 4 little connectors. So that means you can have up to 4 different buffs on there if you arrange your buffs like I have right here. So I got 4 different ones all close together, and these ones here are ones you can get on the boats. I think they might have them nearby, but you got 4 spots. Take 4 of your modifiers and put them on there and try and get amplify and superconductor for your power consumption and weapon damage for your lightning gun, and then you'll be good to go. Because the water, they're weak to lightning. So you're wet. You see the wet things across the screen. I want to get rid of that, but they don't let you. But yeah, you just fire on there, and the longer you hold the button down, the more damage the lightning gun will do. So you want to stick your battery on there, obviously, too, if you got it, and then just run around and blow up the guys once you get in combat with them. They'll be in set spots all over the place. But as for the turning, you got to maybe when you're driving around and you're turning, just like stop and let go of the forward button to get a little bit more tighter turns. Like I'm not turning very tight, but if I let go and then go, I should be turning. Is that the combat music? I don't see it. I don't see the guy. We'll do some lightning combat here. Once we can see the guy on there, we'll just keep looking around. There he is. As soon as I see a guy, I just start my lightning gun, right? Because I got lots of battery power with that superconductor, and it's charging up. It's just sitting there. So look at how much they fire at you. It really tears into you. But yeah, let's just run into them. I'm not dead yet. Oh, I turned over. Come on, turn. And it takes a while to charge up again. So there we go. Now I got him. So yeah, and none the worse for wear for that. That's because they can put the armor in the front and to tank some of those shots and try and kill them as fast as possible with a charged up lightning gun. And it's better than using the 2 lightning guns. And then you can hit tab and shift click. You want to pick it up. Shift click and pick up your loot. Both parts are worth a lot, so it might be worthwhile to farm them if you really want to. But yeah, you get the propellers off of this swamp biome, and they're nice and they're free right now, so you can add them on there for an extra boost to move a little bit faster with. But the swamp biome is now covered with all of these rock walls around there. That's where they modified the swamp biome to adjust it for that. So it's a lot different than it was before, and there's only so much landing spots you can get. And over there on the map is where they give you that free dock, and then you see the trader, and then just a little bit over here is where they're going to direct you towards for this base. And then we can go there and just let's go back to there, and then snapshots, and then pick a different miner. That's going to be changed now, right? By available. That was a part or something. That might have changed it. Where is this thing? Flying coal. That's the one I want. There we go. And then flying coal. Yeah, you can use. This is what I do to fly around now, since those helicopter parts are propeller parts are free. Is just fly around in the air like so. It's a lot. This is a lot easier than worrying about an airplane and this aerodynamics that are poor. So there's that island right there I was talking about, and this is what this the swamp biome's general appearance. But we have an oil node down here, and there's another oil node on the other side of this here big huge landmass with a landing zone for yourself, and that's closer to where the boss is. So you got a choice. You can build here where they direct you towards, and the trader is just over there, so you can get access to the new stuff over there, like the plane parts and stuff, is just over there. Or go way onto the other side and build your base, your main base over there if you want. But that's not as convenient as this place is, I think. It's just more convenient for killing the boss. And this is one of the bugs, right? Is firing this off there. There it goes. Just show my base by accident. Try and land properly. Just, you know, that is a pain in the ass because it's your weapon mouse. It automatically swaps them over. It's changed over to there. It does that randomly, right? A random weapon or thing will change this into something else and ruin your day, that type of thing. So yeah, just be aware of that when you're building your techs and flying around and stuff like that. That's why it's one of the reasons why it's not recommended until they fix dumb stuff like that for your tech. But anyways, fusion cores are going to be at the end of the game in the desert biome too, and you're going to want to go over there and get that. So I would definitely go over to here first and start your main base and do the do all the stuff with the oil node, and then build all that stuff there, and then get the flying parts and build a cheap ass plane and fly over to the desert biome at nighttime and go there and buy the best cabs that you can buy, because you know the last cab there is a lot better than the other ones. This one right here that we're using right now is the best cab in the game, for me at least, that you can buy right now. It's just 450 capacity, but its boost is what you're looking for in this game, so just make sure you're looking at the boosts that are going to help you. And recycle is less ammo that's being used up and less farming done to actually do that. And then the armor and amplify is for damage. And they'll at least tell you now what they do on the weapons and stuff like that. So you want, you know, recycle and armor and amplify at maximum value so you can just blow stuff up a lot faster. And then otherwise, and cannons are going to be your best option for that, even though the range really sucks on them. The other cabs are basically still lying at you. You know, all the yellow ones here, when they say +6 to everything, that is just for mining lasers and other tools like that. That's just for tools. It's not for everything else. And then the other cab is going to be for wheels only. That's why I think the other one is the best, even though this one here has 520 for this cab, but the +6 is only for parts that I don't use. The only thing I use is the terrain tool, and that is it. And that will affect the amplify for that, and the superconductor for it, but no, the amplify won't do anything. It's just a superconductor, so it'll use less power, and it doesn't use very much anyway, so that's useless to me in the long run. And the Nomad cab, the best one, that's for traveling, for the wheels, that's just for the wheels. That doesn't help combat whatsoever. You're still going to be weak as hell. Your wheels will have armor, but that's about it. The rest of you will still get shot and die by one grenade, and that's no fun, right? That's why you go to this weaker one here at 450 capacity, but the armor and amplify and recycle are the key features of this one right here. And I skipped all the ice biome cabs because they're a little bit they cost too much. These things cost like 35k to 40k. That's what you're looking at to buy these guys. Just be aware of that. So save up the money, then go over there and buy that. And that's by just by farming parts. And as for the other parts, well, I think there's nothing else to really know about building your cabs besides stacking the modifiers together to get what you want. Like this here build right here. I am using some fusion cores right now, but I do have a build, the same build without any fusion cores. This one just has, this one can mine and survive in the, has some boosters, and it can survive in the cold biome without any problem right there, and some other little tweaks here and there. But the basic 4 cannons and on the thing that have their boost on there to make them as powerful as they are still the same build. But it's all about the frames in this game, stacking all these frames and using all their things, because they're global modifiers that affect all the blocks. And it's a lot better to have all your blocks have maximum armor versus using armor pieces to make your outside tech full of armor. It's just a lot more cost effective. Like like the smaller frame, for example, it has a reactor load of 10, but it has armor and repair for all your blocks at +1. And then, but if you wanted to armor something out that's pretty big, it's going to take you a lot of these hull plates, and it's going to be sloppy. And this one here takes 8, and just provides armor for this block. You're going to have to stick all the stuff there, the 8 and the 6s. They all add up. And if you want the real ones, then this one costs 12 to use on that piece right there to give you +8 armor for your blocks, and that kind of thing. So they're going to end up costing a lot, and force fields are going to cost a lot too, and they take a very small area. So yeah, I just decided to go with the modifiers on all the stuff there and use all frames. So yeah, I'm using a whole bunch of different frames, like the Wolverine frames and the small frames and the Komodo frames, just stack them all together and get the bonuses off them because they got amplify and armor to all the blocks. So that's just handy doing it that way. And then modify your weapons as you see fit with your buffs like turbo and recycle and superconductor if you're going to use those weak ass weapons that you have. But the best weapons are basically the lightning gun, the grenades, the missile launchers, and the rifle. The rifle's the only long range one in this game, really. That's the only weapon that's going to shoot far and fast and not have your bullets explode in midair and do nothing like that, right? That's the maximum range you have. I can't hit that landmass over there because the bullets explode beforehand. That's the way this game works. But if you need I'm going to have some other videos on, how to build the power systems over here for yourself. And I got up to 8 of those, generators going on one oil node. It's a pain in the ass to do. I don't know if I can actually do it in this biome right here because of the water level. I might not be able to dig down deep enough to get there. But that's all. It just involves digging in this game and then placing parts and building your thing. But yeah, we're not done yet because we can't get this part right anymore. You can't build a scrapper. The scrapper is in the desert. Make sure you go there and start grabbing those parts. You fly in there, put a gun on, and blow up the things. Then you steal all the parts and then fly away. You don't have to get into combat with the bosses and stuff like that are there if you can avoid them. Then you can take all the power systems that you want. They have big batteries. They have lots of these solar panels, and then they have lots of wind generators. And if you're going to build your base over here, the closest power point I found was just up over there. So up on the top of that cliff over here, I built a little bridge because I wasn't flying around much. But over there, I got the wind generators I stole from the desert and put them up there to get the most power nearby. There is a good place for wind farther away, but it's just too far away, and I didn't explore it fully. I explored it enough, dropping down the pylons everywhere nearby, and that was the better place. It's 23 power versus the 30 maximum you can get, but down here it's just like 10 power wind power, so it's not really double the power for having that little distance I travel over there to set that up there. Yeah, that's what we're looking at for this game setup. Everything else should be standard and a basic setup that you have for building your base, like having all these things connected. These things may be small and hard to navigate, but you can see the arrows on them now on which direction they're going, so it's going this way. And the scrapper's putting the parts into here, and I got all this extra stuff. Oh yeah, before I forget, mentioning some of the parts, make sure you're keeping a lot of your extra parts that you don't need. It's very expensive to actually start licensing everything like this. If I wanted to add a 5th cannon, for example, this would cost me over 3K. That's very expensive to add another one, so it gets really pricey on this stuff, but I might want to keep them for later on. And also these later on endgame weapons that you can find, of course around the ice biome too, you'll find some of these weapons. They will and same with the armor right here, this big huge armor plate. Keep all of these because they can be scrapped and you can get gold wire out of them. Gold wire is something you need quite a bit of for the later game, and actually farming the gold in the desert is going to be an end game pain in the ass, and this is just a lot easier to get stuff out of it by keeping stuff like this and keeping all the other blocks, right? So just if you just keep all the blocks just in case you need them, it's very handy. That thing that I did by keeping all those things and keeping all the extra frames and extra storage devices and the shields and the wheels, just keep everything that you don't need to scrap. You don't need to keep as much as I do. I don't need 15 large batteries, obviously, and I'm not sure what they scrap into. I haven't sold them yet, but just in case I need to build a build with a whole bunch of batteries, at least I have some available, and I could go around there and scrap the rest. But as for scrapping things like some of these weapons, like this here little piece of armor right here, for scrapping it, you keep those. They sell for a lot, but they also scrap into copper bars, right? And then also the aluminum. So we don't have to farm aluminum anymore once we have the scrapper, and we don't have to worry about the copper farming, which is a pain in the ass too. And this just dropped 10, right? 10 copper bars. That's not. They're still copper bars, basically, in my opinion. There's no copper bars. But anyways, you have that processed, and you start making copper wire. And the way this game unlocks everything is you have to actually have all the ingredients, and then the thing unlocks. It's a stupid system. I can see why people did it, but I don't like it. myself, I would like to know what I need to build stuff beforehand and not have to look it up. But just make sure you're building everything that you can actually craft in this game, and then things will unlock. Because for the copper wire, you don't need it for anything. So when you're first playing this game and you don't know what's going on there, you see this copper wire. It takes a lot of copper. It took you a long time to farm all this copper because you don't have a scrapper. And then you go around there, well, I don't need a copper wire for anything. Why build it? It takes a lot of my copper. Maybe I want that for ammo or building storage areas because you want these bigger storages, and these things cost a lot of copper to make. So you want to keep it and not farm so much. And yeah, you have to use it to unlock it. Then you can unlock all the oil foundry stuff and the liquid extractors and all the other ingredients that you can get from after that. So you can start building all the stuff from here to get all the ingredients that you need. So if you, for example, you want to do the fusion cores at the end of the game, you have to have all of these resources made and crafted already. So you have to find a diamond in the desert and craft those other things from that new combiner that you can build. And you need these ingredients before you can build the combiner. That is how it works to unlock all of this stuff in this game. And so yeah, they give you gold wiring in the chest in the first biome, but they don't give you copper wire, which they probably should at least give you some in some of those chests and by the bosses to help you out with that. That would just fix most of the problems that people might have for progressing in this game right there. Is just add some copper wire to some chests, and then right? Easy solutions, but yeah. Nothing about this game makes it easy to play because of the lack of common sense, at least in my opinion, on it. But yeah, that is all you really. I think that covers basically everything for the base building stuff. There's not much else that's challenging in it. It's just doing it and building it and getting ready to go for your stuff. So you just travel around and kill stuff. So we got some combat music. There should be some guys nearby, right? Is there a guy over here? I know they always spawn. There's guys that spawn here, guys that spawn in the middle. There he is. It's hard to see. Hard to see green on green when you're so small. Come on. Coming in view. Yeah. How about I just run you over? Let's run you over. Come on. You want to be difficult. I can't aim down with cannons. I'll just do that. Turn. Okay. Come here. Crush. Oh, I jumped right over him. Damn. And this guy doesn't have any missiles on him, at least. Lots of these guys will have grenades and stuff, so they might be difficult. But yeah, he would be like a one-shot, right? I could just fire once and he'd be dead. They fly apart with the cannons. Just explode too much. Parts everywhere. Really sucks for picking up stuff. So, it's really good to have cannons to blow stuff up versus grenades, which are slow and unreliable. And the missiles are a little bit better, but they're slow too for them. But the rifle is where it's at for keeping parts that you might actually want for guys, because you can just aim for their cab from far away and destroy it that way. But this video has gone on long enough. I've been trying to think of some other things to add for information for you, but I just haven't really got to it that I remember, right? There's so much information you might want to know, but I think I covered it good enough for you to get a good head start on this game, on some directions on where to go. So yeah, as soon as you can fly, get over to that desert. You don't even have to fly. You can have a boat and go over there and bring a base and switch over there and go at nighttime and save up that 35K or so to buy that cab. And then your money problems will go away because you don't need anything else really besides this one cab. And then you should be good to go on building a good tech for yourself and be able to kill stuff in the desert. Of course, you can't survive in the daytime without like 4 heaters, 4 what do you call them, radiators for yourself. But even 2 water radiators don't work anymore, or it never did, because it's just bad and sloppy. But there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll do some other videos on other stuff, but this is just for getting started, and this was a long guide and tips video. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later.